Hello? Hello? Okay. Meme time. Okay, welcome to Virtual Formula 1 PreSeason Season 2. We've got our first lot of cars coming out of the pits. We've got Icon starting his outlap in his McLaren, as well as Frey Pepper, Liebnow, Laggy, and Mashiro, all coming out. There's a yellow flag in Sector 2, and it's the Haas of Genetic. I think that's how you say it. So far, the front runners for these opening laps are Mashiro, Liebnow, Frey, Icon, and Laggy, who's just come off in the final turn. Only Frey on medium tyres with a 199. Right now, the championship holder for the World Drivers' Championship. Ooh, and he's gone very wide into that turn 15 there. The World Drivers' Champion, Aboud, has not joined the session, so right now anything's possible for these remaining drivers. Bas is coming out for his first lap. In his now Red Bull, coming from the McLaren from last season, where the McLaren finished third in the championship. We've got some more flags in Sector 2, we'll stay with Bas for now, as he does his first lap of the session. Leave now sets a fastest. I think that's wrong because Frey set a fast lap of 118, and Bas has gone really slow into turn 15, coming up turn 16. He's going to set a 121.406 as his first lap of the session on the hard tyres. Ace has put on some medium tyres for his first few laps of the session, onto the gravel in turn 10, I think, turn 9. And I think that was Laggy who's just put in a third fastest lap. No, it was Ace. It was Ace putting in a fourth fastest lap of a 1:18.777. Right now, the first four drivers are very bunched up. Less than 1/10 separate them, with 10 minutes gone in the session. Let's have a look at this then. 3 drivers going into turn 1, Luca, Frey and Icon. Icon getting very close to the back of the Ferrari and going a bit deep into turn 1, out of turn 2. Frey, remember, on the medium tyres, so you can easily get past Luca. And we've got some flags, yellow flags in sector 2, which will slow down these drivers if there's a big accident. And Laggy's joined the party as well. 4 drivers, all in this part of the track. And Noisy putting in a fastest lap. A 1:17.668. And looks like he's trying to beat that again. Frey's now coming to the pits, as well as Liebnow and Nitrous Davy. Oh, Davy's coming out for his outlap. Ace doesn't improve on his time. Go to his teammate Davy, who's on his outlap. Coming from the Haas from last season, where he outperformed the Haas quite consistently. Yellow flags in sector 2 again. This track seeming very difficult for some drivers in the second sector. And that is EJH, who's just come off in turn 12, cutting 14-15 completely, ready for his next lap. Nope, he's going into the pits. And he's crashed into the pit wall. It looks like he hasn't got any traction on, which can make you very fast, but in this case it wasn't. Davy catching up to Icon now on a fast lap. Icon's weaving on the straight. And into the gravel is going to slow him down quite a lot. He's been his lap. Saving energy for his to go again on the next one. That second sector yellow flag is for Davy, who's going very slowly. Trying to save as much energy as he can, taking the off-road. Which Icon looks like he's trying to do as well. And those flags in sector 3 are for those two drivers I was just talking about. Oh, big lock up from Liebnow into turn 4. And still yellow flags in sector 3. I don't know what's happening over here. We're about to find out. Laggy's gone way off-road, cutting the whole last sector. To get into the pits. Not a lot of track set, not a lot of time beatings going on here, as Ace Noisy still has the fastest lap of the session. Again, lock up into turn 4 for Liebnow. And this Icon who makes those yellow flags come out. Luca and Icon going very slowly in sector 3, trying to get as much ERS energy stored as possible. Icon goes into the pits. Luca is going to set a fast lap. on the hard tyres again. Oh, spin, and into the wall goes Luca. Into the gravel now. Only 4 drivers out right now, as it ticks down to 20 minutes gone in the session. Icon coming out, and he spun on his outlap. Driver's coming up behind him, he's on the medium tyres now. Is that better, Frey? Mashiro setting a second fastest lap of the session, a 1:17.992, just under the 1:18 mark. And it is Bath who's making the yellow flags in sector 3. And Laggy has spun. I don't know what's been going on there. But he goes for another fast lap. Mashiro sets a purple sector 2. And Nitrous Davy sets a 1:18.1. I think that's just come in, which will be the third fastest time of the session. Mashiro comes across the line. He improves on his time to a 1:17.4 on the dot, beating Noisy by 0.02 of a second. And now Bath sets a fastest lap of the session, 0.05 faster than Mashiro. Sector 1 and Sector 2 now has yellow flags. It is Luca. Going very, very slowly. Holding up Davy as he goes as well. And they almost touch. It's good that Luca's going into the pits now. He's holding up way too many drivers in the past 5 minutes. As he gets shunted from behind as he comes into the pits with Davy. And Laggy has now set the fastest lap, a 1:16.831 in his Mercedes, as he gets out the way of drivers cutting the corner. Bus comes into the pits, yellow flags in sector 2 and 3. Wherever it is cleared up now. Sector 3 still has yellow flags. It's probably Noisy. Oh no, it is Laggy, who's trying to save some ERS before he starts another lap. Nope, he comes into the pits. A lot of the drivers now coming into the pits or are all on the medium tyre, so they finished their hard stint. There we go. Laggy has set his fastest lap on the medium tyres, but Bas in the Red Bull with 5/10, around 5/10 slower on the hard tyres, which in theory would put him top if he put the medium tyres on and done the same lap. And Mashiro coming into the pits, he's done 14 laps on the hard tyres. Noisy coming into the pits just now, 12 laps on the medium tyres. A lot of drivers now on the medium tyres. Only 2 drivers on their fast laps right now. Leave now and Icon, both in the same sector together. Icon has an invalid lap for something, probably a corner cut, but Liebner doesn't, and looks like he's going to be setting a fast lap time. As Laggy, Bath and Frey all are coming out on an outlap. Bath is first to set a fast lap. Lock up in turn 13. 4 lead now, coming out of the turn 16, the last turn. Will he improve on his time? Yes, he does. And that is a 117.2. Still 4/10 off his teammate. Oh, and that is a very bad thing for Baths, who gets on the curb, who loses control of the car into the gravel trap at turn 12, who looked like he was going to set a good lap time on the mediums. He goes for another one. He hasn't got much ERS stored. Let's see what he can do. And also drivers now on the track. Noisy on his hards, and that would have been Lib now, I think. Yes, it would have. Bus now coming into the pits, hitting the pit wall. What's he going to do from here? Into the pits. Yellow flags in sector 1 and 2. Luca with still 4 seconds off the pace in his Alfa Romeo. Now on the soft tyres to try and make up that time, and Icon has gone really slowly, probably spun in turn 2. And Luca trying to save energy, going really slowly. And spins. Hitting the wall and resets to track. In a normal race that would have been a penalty. And Lieb now comes out on the medium tyres. So does Bars, who is also tyres. Mashiro still on these hard tyres, and he's still 4th in the standings as it stands. Only 200ths in front of Ace. And that's Bus, who has spun, it looks like. This track proving very, very difficult for a lot of drivers. It just proves that practice can make perfect, and that is Luca, who is in the gravel trap on the right hand side of the second DRS straight. For like the 20th time today, Luca goes off the track. Only 5 drivers out right now. And again, Luca has spun, or he's just broke really hard to try and get some energy for this lap. And he's lost control of the car into the wall. And again, Luca now becoming a hazard to the drivers. Resetting to track again. Just over 30 minutes gone in the session. There's yellow flags in sector 1. It's Luca again. Who else? As it stands, Laggy has the fastest lap of the session. I don't know what's happened there. Oh, Lieb now has left the session. He's probably been kicked out for his internet connection. Oh, now Bar sets a 1:16.772. Is a fastest lap of the session by around 1/10 of a second. Just under 1 hour to go here. The Red Bull is on top, with his teammate not being able to attend this first half an hour. Let's find out if he can join somewhat through the session. The Mercedes follow him in second and third, both in the pits right now, as Mashiro trying to get into that top 3 in his Renault. And it's Luca again causing these yellow flags. And unlucky for Frey, who has moved to the Ferrari. As soon as the Ferrari gets patched down in the game, meaning that his old drive, the Racing Point, is now faster than his new drive, who is down in 8th place behind the Renault and the McLaren, who the Ferrari is very equal on. And Mashiro does get into that top 3, a 1:16.842. That is 4/10 faster than Liebnau's time he set. And only That's 9 thousandths behind Laggy Racer, who's in the pit still. What have I come back to? There's 3 drivers going very slowly in Sector 3. It's the Ferrari of Frey, the Renault of Mashiro. Oh, and they touch, and Mashiro's put the Ferrari into the grass. Noisy also is with them, and the Ferrari goes into the pits. There you go for you. Everyone except for Luca has set a fastest lap on the medium tyres. Ace is on 12 laps, triple everyone else's lap records on the medium tyres. 1, 2 and 3, that's Bath with the yellow flag in Sector 1. Luca with the yellow flag in Sector 3. And let's have this on for now. EJH. Ace with 8 laps on the hard tyres, trying to figure out if that's a good tyre for racing on. With lead now on 6 laps in the mediums. Their tyre wear will be around the same right now. Oh no, he spins in turn 3 into the gravel trap on the left hand side. Frey coming into turn 3 will be greeted by Lieb now. As Lieb now looks very unsteady in this Mercedes. I don't know what it is that's happened. Ferrari before the patch must have just been very stable for him. And yellow flags in sector 2, that is Luca again. and that is a racing point of David, who has spun in sector 1, causing those yellow flags. Ace now on 10 laps in these hard tyres. Yellow flags in sector 2, that will be David again. And there you can see, as Laggy gets past him. Laggy now on the soft tyre, as well as Icon, who is in the pits. Luca 10 laps on the soft. Very twitchy as he comes out of turn 3 into turn 4. That is EJH with the yellow flags. Very slow through turn 5 and 6. Cutting the corner completely. As Laggy, I think that's a new lap record. A new lap record for this session is a 1:16.091. As we are following now Bass, who is second as it stands on the medium tyres, and Frey has come off in the gravel trap of turn 4. Luca right now losing a lot of grip, going 11 laps on these soft tyres. They're only supposed to last around 12 to 15 laps, I would say. So he has to come into the pits quite soon to change them, otherwise he's going to start spinning a lot. Luca has set a now 1:20.8, still 2 seconds off the pace of the Haas car. On the soft tyres compared to the Haas's mediums. And that's a big twitch into turn 3 from the Alfa Romeo car. Laggy out again on the soft tyres. Got about half his ERS left. Going slower than his fastest lap by around 4 tenths, I think I saw. And I don't know who that was. That would have been the Haas of EJH. Bass now on a flying lap, trying to improve his time of a 1:16.7. No, he can't. He gets on the curb and spins out of turn 1 and 2. so he will not improve his time, but Lieb now does improve his time to 1:16.271, 5 tenths faster than the Red Bull, and it is a Mercedes 1-2 as it stands, with 43 minutes left in the session. Oh, and Lieb now spins out of turn 7. Gets passed by his teammate Laggy, who looks like he's on for a flying lap. That is not what you want to hear from your engine. As he doesn't... I don't know what's going on with his gearing. But he does put in a fastest lap of the race, a 1:15.974, as the Haas car is spinning again. The grid starting to spread out a bit more from the first 10 laps, with now a spread of 5 seconds instead of 2. As Laggy gets an invalid lap, looks like for corner cutting. As he now goes into the pits. Luca on 15 laps on the softs. And spins. Expected to spin right there on 15 laps on the softs. His tyres must be screaming at him as he tries to get going again and spins again. And Mashiro has got a faster lap time now than Bars. So the Renault outperforming the Red Bull as it stands by 0.4 of a second. Luca's still going on his soft tyres. I don't know what's happening. A lot of drivers now into the pits. Mashiro the only driver setting a good flying lap time at the moment. As EJH is now setting a fast lap. Yellow flags in sector 1, that is Luca again, who is now on 17 laps on the softs. But Mashiro has set a second sector fastest time. He could be on for a quick time here if he keeps it together through turn 16. And he finishes his lap in second place, a 1:16.222, beating the Mercedes on a soft tyre by 0.05 of a second so far. Not a lot of movement further down the grid though, as from about 6th down hasn't set a fastest lap for quite a while. Lucas still hasn't come into the pits. It sounds like Mashiro has run out of fuel from that last lap, pushing as fast as he can. To get that second place. And there's a massive corner cut by Ace. If he improves his time, it will be invalid. He does, it's a 1:16.5. It will be invalidated after the session, if that is his fastest lap time of the session. And Bas goes top of the standings right now, a 1:15.811, a whole 10th of a second faster than Laggy in his Mercedes on super fresh tyres. Laggy's still in the pits, so he'll have to come out in the next half an hour if he wants to try and beat Bas to the top spot. Invalid lap from Ace. He will be going to the pits, I would assume. And he does, with Frey just behind him, who is now in 6th place, jumping Icon and Davey. He's now on the soft tyres, a 1:17.409. As EJH is making those yellow flags wave in Sector 2. And Pilot has joined this session a few minutes ago, and his first contribution to this session is a spin which makes Frey crash into him. Luke is still going strong on that soft tyre, 20 laps old now. Still 2 seconds off the pace though. As Bas now gets past Luca. And Luca has spun in turn 15 to 16. Once again, Bas comes into the pits. Laggy goes for another flying lap. And I think that is Pilot who has just spun in turn 14. It is very twitchy coming through that 3rd sector. A fastest last sector there for Laggy. No, it's Lieb now who sets a fastest second place lap with a 1:15.880. Laggy has spun out of turn 11, coming into 12. Frey has retired from the session. We're on board with Lieb now as he comes into the last sector, looking like a very fast lap time. But I think he's just run out of fuel. Hard luck for Lieb now as he was looking very fast. Laggy spinning again in turn 2, 3. Ace has set a fastest lap, a 1:15.568. That will get looked at. After the session. The Racing Point is fast, but is not that fast to be beating a Red Bull by 3/10 as it's now under half an hour to go. Yellow flags in Sector 2. It is Ace who has now run out of fuel into the low fuel mode. A lot of drivers pushing their car to the absolute maximum here with just under half an hour to go. Pilot on 2 laps on the hards has set a faster lap than Luca by around 1.5 seconds. And he does come into the pits. I would think he's going to put on a faster compound tyre as he joined late. Luca 23 laps now on the soft tyre. He has to be getting near 100% tyre wear very soon. Oh, joined right at the wrong time for EJH as he spins out of turn 8 onto the gravel trap. That's going to slow him down way too much to get a faster lap. Although he does have a new fast lap on the soft tyres. Now spins on lap 11, on turn 11. Bars going onto the off-road bit here at turn 11. And it looks like Lieb now has spun as well, down in turn 5. Bars comes into the pits. Pilot has come out again on the medium tyres this time. What I was expecting him to do, as it's only 25 minutes left in the session. Trying to get that fast lap of the day. Lieb now coming out to turn 16. Across the line. He does not improve his time. Yellow flag in sector 3. I would think that's either EJH or Luca. As Lieb connection. Looks like he's going all over the place in sector 2. We'll leave him to that right now as Mashiro comes onto the softs, looking to get back into that top 3. And Lieb now has now set a faster lap than his previous, a 1:15.817, and he's retired from the session. I'm guessing he thinks that's good enough to get third. And Mashiro now a 1:15.673. I don't know if there's any corner cuts in that. If there's not, that's a very, very good time in a Renault. Yellow flags, that would be Luca again, or Bars. As Mashiro going slowly. That's now Ace who's making those yellow flags. Not much else going on right now. As Ace cuts the corner again, going into the pits, which is a good idea. Luca close to 30 laps on the soft tyre. He has to be getting a puncture soon. As I'm being informed, Ace has a fastest lap, a 1:15.862 with no corner cutting, which would put him in 5th place as it stands. EJH has spun again, out of turn 7. And that is Luca again on the off-road part at turn 11. There's been a lot of coming off here. An invalid lap as well. EJH comes off there as well, going deep into turn 10, and goes off into the gravel trap, trying to control his car, cutting 13, 14 and 15, and coming into the pits. Pilot set a fast lap on the mediums, a 1:18.506, only 0.3 off the pace. as Pilot is the only driver that is on the pace to be setting a flying lap at the moment, as Ace now starts his one, and Luca making those yellow flags come out once again in turn 2. It's both Alfa Romeos making those flags come out, and now it is Ace making that second sector flag come out. Letting Laggy go by. Bast has set a fastest lap, I believe, on one lap of fresh soft tyres, a 1:15.791. Now on his outlap for one of the last qualifying runs that some of the teams will start to do. Now it ticks down to around 15 minutes left. And it's Laggy who has stopped just before turn 9, and Luca and Pilot both stopping before turn 10. I don't know if they're being tangled with each other or just having some fun. Not a lot of action going on, except for Bast setting a lap time 0.2 faster than his previous. Icon still in the pits, and Luca and Pilot have both been disqualified from the session. Luca was disqualified for driving the wrong way, as race control can now tell me. As Laggy, I think, has retired from the session as well. As Mashiro now goes for a flying lap. Trying to hold on to that second place, which may be a first place after the session. EJH has made the yellow flags come out in Sector 1. And EJH spins into the gravel trap. As Mashiro does get a faster second sector, which could mean he gets a fastest lap. It's been a bit slow out of turn 15, and he doesn't improve his time. He brakes just before the line. As EJH again bringing those yellow flags out in Sector 3, coming into turn 14. Invalidated lap as well, so he will be going to the pits. No, he won't. He'll be making a new flying lap. As he loses control of the car, goes straight on into turn 1. And Mashiro comes into the pits after not being able to improve his time. Into the pits comes Ace. Bas looking like he's on for a good lap time. He can't beat his time though, 3/10 slower. It might have been from that little bit of the end stepping out in that last corner, which made him lose those 3/10. As Bas is the only driver right now out on track. with 8.5 minutes to go in the session. Mashiro coming for an outlap, which will probably be his last stint of the session. We'll go on board with Mashiro for this as well, as Ace now comes on an outlap. Using up all their tyres for this pre-season, trying to figure out what tyres are best for qualifying and the race. The last few qualifying sims right now, Mashiro and Noisy. Looking quite fast. Let's see what his split is. Just 600 slower than his fastest lap time. So if he can get a third sector fast time, then he should be able to beat his lap time. Oh no, he comes into the pits. What sounds like... No, he just comes into the pits. I was going to say he would have run out of fuel, but it didn't sound like it when he was coming to the pit line. Bas now comes out on a set of wet tyres. Just having some fun these last 5 minutes now. As Ace will be greeted by Bas very soon. 5/10 off his fastest lap, but his fastest lap was invalidated. And it sounds like Ace has now run out of fuel into the low fuel mode again. A lot of drivers have had this, pushing very hard, as Bas is now on the off-track part of Turn 11 again, spinning on these wet tyres. Like I said, he's just having fun. Ace going into the pits now, not being able to improve his time, as Bas somehow on the wet tyres, I don't think that's right, the lap time on the screen saying it was only 3/10 slower than his fastest lap. Only 3.5 minutes left to the session now. I think everyone's done their final qualifying sim. As it stands, these final 3 minutes, it is Ace on top, but he will have that lap invalidated, meaning he will be 5th overall. Which means that in the first place we have Mashiro in a Renault, second is Bas in his Red Bull, as we're looking at him right now, Liebnau, then Laggy, both Mercedes 3 and 4 in the standings right now. Then actually it won't be Laggy 4th, it will be Ace 4th. He set a fast time of 1:15.8. So it'll be Ace 4th, Laggy 5th, Frey Ace 5th, Laggy 6th, Frey 7th, Icon 8th, Nitrous Davey 9th, EJH 10th, and Pilot and Luca got disqualified from the session, meaning they would get a penalty. As Mashiro now comes out on a set of soft tyres, a new set of soft tyres as well. So he is the only driver that looks like who hasn't used all their tyres up and that hasn't retired from the session. So he could in theory get first on the track. And he